it's one of the interesting contexts where I haven't had the opportunity to prejudge the people who would be here. So normally I can look on social media, I can look at Facebook. I work in politics, so I don't walk into rooms that I don't know, generally speaking. That happened here. Once I was told that it's better if you don't know, I stopped trying to find out. And so I showed up, and then the ability to say, I like you. We had conversations about things before we looked at our priors, before we looked at our resumes, before we even knew what each other did. And that created an ability to create a little bit of trust before we had some of the more difficult conversations. I think what happens in our everyday life is we look around and do a resume test, do a social media profile test, and then we say, you're like me, so we can talk, or you're not like me, so we can't. And we need to learn to say, hey, let me meet you and give you a shot before I decide I don't like you. A loyal antagonist is somebody who puts the relationship and the person before the issue. We've flipped it. As a nation, we've decided that the issue is primary, the relationship is secondary. Makes it really hard to move beyond our silos, because once we've sort of positioned ourselves on a public policy issue or something like that, then we can't be friends. We get to the point where friendship isn't an option. That's a huge challenge. One of the more interesting ones is one of my prior bosses, who's actually now my congressman. And we would have the back and forth. I mean, I would tell him that his ideas were wild. He would tell me that, like, I needed to watch myself and be more respectful. We would have this, like, knock down, drag out. He probably should have fired me several times when I worked for him. But he was patient with me. He valued me, and I knew that. And I valued him too.